Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is May 13th of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to unleash an unprecedented wave of terrorism and war um, on the date of May 14th of 2026, which is the 78th anniversary of the creation of the apartheid and genocidal state of Israel. What is imperative to note here is that Switzerland is home to the CIA, and they created the state of Israel so that they could basically terrorize the world without it coming back to haunt them. But because I've identified CIA headquarters located beneath Lake Geneva, when I document and articulate exactly what they're going to do, because they're in fact the mastermind behind this entire operation around the world, they cannot do it. And we're going to see that happen in the next 48 hours, which are blinking red, because the events that are about to transpire are going to be obviously used to spawn a second global biological pandemic and or trigger World War III. And so I'm going to highlight really briefly the numerology surrounding this. So it's basically the date of Thursday, May 14th, the 70th anniversary of Israel, and then in the United States on May 14th, it would be May 15th elsewhere in the world, because they're going to most likely stage whatever they're going to stage in the evening of May 14th during the live broadcast of NHL and NBA playoff basketball games. So really quick, the date of May 14th marks exactly 75 days since the Iran war started back on February 28th of 2026, in the event of a second related event on the date of May 14th, which in respect to the Iranian war, it would mark two such events in 76 days. And so we have 276, and so the number 26 equates to the letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism. And then when you take the letter 7, which equates to the letter G, you have GZ. You have G and then 26 on the side, so jizz, like coming, like ejaculation. So that means that this is going to climax, that the Iran war is going to climax on May 14th, the 78th anniversary of Israel, and it's likely going to be a nuclear bomb by Iran. How they're going to claim or stage it is not known, but obviously the most likely scenario is a 9/11 style nuclear terror attack. They're going to fly a plane into Israel with a nuclear bomb. They're going to send a missile into it. They're going to drive a truck into Israel, or they're going to bring a boat or a submarine onto the shores of Israel and detonate a nuke. But a nuclear event is expected on the date of May 14th, 2026, or the morning of May 15th of 2026. And obviously this would be designed to trigger World War III. Also, the date of May 14th marks exactly 1,232 days since Benjamin Netanyahu became the Prime Minister of Israel back on December 29th of 2022. This has the number 123, or ABC, atomic, biological, chemical. So some sort of CBRN-related event is expected. Also, the date of May 14th marks exactly 28,489 days since the State of Israel was created back on May 14th of 1948. And this obviously has the 24 numerology, which equates to the letter X, which is known internationally as a symbol of death, and it has the 88 numerology, which is inherent to Switzerland, and it's also Nazi numerology, because Ashkenazi, that's where the term Nazi comes from. And so some sort of major event involving the state of Israel and her CIA in Switzerland is expected. So I'm just going to highlight the most likely events that are going to happen in the next 48 hours. You can write it down, because one or more of these events will in fact transpire in the next 48 hours. Number one is the CIA's planning to stage a coup in Israel in order to get because basically Trump has ordered Netanyahu to stand down. If there's an overthrow of the Netanyahu government, then they'll put in hardline Zionists that will likely nuke Iran or invade multiple nations. So a coup, a military coup in Israel from the right is expected. This could be led by Yoav Gallant, the former defense minister of Israel, Bezalel Smotrich, the current finance minister of Israel, or Itamar Ben-Gvir, which is the former minister of national security. It could be all three of these guys. They're all rabid Zionists, just foaming at the mouth, and if they overthrow, obviously Netanyahu is in on it, but it would appear as if he is thrown out of power, and then they would just go berserk, and that's what I believe is planned. There's also the high possibility that Benjamin Netanyahu will die in some sort of an Iranian strike. We all know about the rumor that his plane was shot down, and then they produced this deep fake AI video of him. So then this will be used as pretext to execute the Samson option, which is basically an all-out nuclear war on Iran by Israel. So there's also the possibility that Benjamin Netanyahu will resign, or that he will suddenly die. He does have a heart monitor, or whatever you call that, in his splint in his heart. I think it's called a pacemaker. Or he may suffer some sort of an assassination, either by an Iranian assassin or by, from the right, some sort of rabid Zionist that's even farther right than Netanyahu. In reality, he'll likely go to a beach somewhere, but they'll kill him off in public, just like they did the former Ayatollah of Iran. I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyways, so like I said at the beginning of this video, there's three things that the CIA wants to accomplish. They want to stage a chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear event on the date of May 14th or May 15th, and they want to start a second global biological pandemic on May 14th or May 15th, or they want to start World War III on May 14th or the morning of May 15th. So, given that it is the anniversary and the CIA has a historical record going back hundreds of years of staging attacks on anniversaries, an Iranian attack on Israel, as previously mentioned, is expected. It will predictably be nuclear in nature. Obviously, a dirty bomb is likely option B. They'll likely stage a Hamas-based offensive targeting Israel or Jewish, Hebrew, and Israeli-related entities around the world, or they'll stage a Hezbollah offensive targeting Hebrew, Israeli, or Jewish-related entities in Israel or around the world on the date of May 14th or the morning of May 15th. If the CIA forgoes that, there's also the possibility that they will stage the execution of the Greater Israel Project, which is basically similar to Nazi Germany that kept on expanding its borders throughout Europe. This is what they plan to do with Netanyahu, or whatever hardline Zionist government is in there, is they plan on expanding the borders, because the goal of Israel, the entire creation of Israel, is basically to trigger World War III. That's the goal. So that is why Armageddon allegedly happens in Israel in the Bible. Everything is geared to that. So Israel will keep on genociding, keep on expanding until they can stage a nuclear event, and then at that point, all-out nuclear World War III will break out, and that is exactly what they have planned. So, an Israeli military offensive by the IDF, by the Israeli Navy, by the Israeli Air Force, targeting one or more nations in the region of the Middle East is expected, including but not limited to Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Spain, Turkey, Iran, the Sinai Peninsula, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, Morocco, Algeria, Greece, Pakistan, Qatar, Oman, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and or Cyprus. So Israel is planning on expanding. I believe that they will do it on May 14th or the morning of May 15th. If all else fails, the CIA will predictably go to their bread and butter, which is Islamic terrorism. I would venture to say that over 90%, possibly way higher, but at least 90% of all Islamic terrorist attacks in the world since the inception of Islamic terrorism back in mid-40s, I would imagine, is when it began. So when they created the State of Israel, in order to justify their occupation of that land and in order to justify their genocide of those people, they had to create a monster, which is Islamic terrorism, which is over 90% committed by the Israeli Mossad. Yeah, there's a few kooks everywhere, but in general, it's all committed by the Israeli Mossad and their operatives, which a lot of them are paid off. A lot of them have very low IQs. So we can expect terrorism on the next level on May 14th or the morning of May 15th. So attacks by Al Qaeda and their variations thereof, Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Muslim Brotherhood, Taliban is expected. Targeting multiple locations, most likely in Israel, the Middle East, and the United States and Europe. Those are the most likely locations, and this is all going to be Mossad. So that's what we need to know, and it's going to be chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature. So 9/11 style attacks, car bombings, truck bombings, IED attacks, hostage crises, kidnappings, sieges, massacres, mass shootings, suicide bombings, chemical attacks, weaponized contagion such as anthrax, Ebola, smallpox, some sort of weaponized contagion attack is expected. Because this is all being orchestrated by Mossad via the CIA in Switzerland. Obviously, if a terror organization had a problem with the government, they would attack their military, because that's what is the nuts and bolts of their operation. So, but because this is Mossad, and they don't want an American soldier dragging a dead Israeli and then taking his mask off and fingerprinting him and finding out that he is in fact part of the Mossad or the IDF. So that's why the Israeli Mossad, one of their signatures is they're pussies, and they only attack soft targets. So they don't want to get killed, so they have bulletproof vests and all their tactical gear, and then they similar to what they do in Palestine, where they have them killing kids and children, women and children. That's the signature of an Israeli terror attack, is that they never ever launch an assault on a military target. They might bomb it from afar, or have a patsy drive up a truck bomb, but they'll never actually stage an attack with their personnel, because they could be captured, and then it would create a huge problem. So we can expect the Israeli Mossad wearing black ski masks with ISIS, Al Qaeda flags to attack airliners, possibly hijacking them, airports, cruise ships, cruise terminals, subways, subway stations, trains, train stations, buses, bus stations, temples, churches, mosques, malls, theaters, concerts, ports, shopping centers, and tourist attractions. Those are the most likely entities that will be attacked by Israeli Mossad posing as Islamic terrorists. Last but not least, possibly the most important point I want to articulate is that the CIA is going to have the Israeli Mossad attack themselves on the date of May 14th or the date of May 15th. This is what's called a false flag attack. This is throughout the history of Israel. They are notorious for crying victim, attacking themselves, crying victim. So whether it's from the right wing, whether it's neo-Nazis or KKK, or it's from all the way to the aforementioned Al Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Muslim Brotherhood, Taliban, they're going to target Hebrew, Israeli, and or Jewish related entities on the date of May 14th to the date of May 15th, specifically to spawn a second global biological pandemic. They also want to institute a whole new host of hate speech laws. They want to curb social media. And so this has been in the works for years now, is they're desperately trying to stage a massive attack against the Jewish community. That's what October 7th was about, which we all are finding out now was in fact a false flag. So basically we're talking October 7th level attack, probably 1,200 dead, they said. Whatever the numbers are, it doesn't matter, is the fact that they plan to use it for propaganda. So the date of May 14th will likely be May 7th or October 7th. May 14th will likely become synonymous with an act of terror committed by the Israeli Mossad, masquerading as right-wing neo-Nazi KKK members or Islamic terrorists. So that's what's planned. So basically, the CIA plans to use the date of May 14th, the 78th anniversary of the State of Israel, to basically execute their policy, which they have thus far been unable to do so. And so this could be a coup in Israel. It could be an Iranian nuclear attack in Israel. It could be a Hezbollah or Hamas offensive in Israel. It could be Israel attacking, lashing out, attacking multiple nations. It could be Islamic Jihad related attacks, but most likely it's going to be a false flag targeting Hebrew, Israeli, or Jewish related entities, possibly targeting synagogues, soft targets, of course, and of course Israeli consulate generals and embassies around the world. And they're likely going to do this under the guise of like a Hamas, Hezbollah, or ISIS offensive. So this is likely going to be multi-continental. It's likely going to happen in Europe, the Middle East, and America. And they're going to claim that these are Iranian-backed sleeper cells that have decided to attack at the same time, when in fact it's going to be a coordinated attack by the Israeli Mossad, who has their agents, unfortunately, in every single country. And so this could be package bombings, this could be roadside IEDs, it could be truck bombings, it could even be drone strikes, it could be anything, but the next 48 hours is hyper critical, because the CIA is absolutely foaming at the mouth, absolutely desperate to stage some sort of earth-changing event in the next 48 hours. And I believe that it will likely involve the State of Israel, her armed forces, and or her Israeli Mossad. So obviously, if this comes to fruition in reality, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.